Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning. My name is Michelle Davis, and I will be your special guest host today for Pep Talks in the Morning. Well, we are in the heart of election season, and it is frenzy here in Trinidad and Tobago. Candidates all over the place from all parties, but we at the Progressive Empowerment Party, we are bringing to you the quality candidates for the Progressive Empowerment Party. Here today I have our candidate for Lopino Bonaire West, Mr. Dominique Lopez himself, one of the hardest working individuals in the Progressive Empowerment Party. I've had the pleasure of working with him side by side and watching an extremely dedicated individual pledge his allegiance to make Trinidad and Tobago a much better country. Good morning, Mr. Lopez. How are you today?
Hi, good morning, Michelle. I'm good. I'm good. Pleasant morning to you and to Trinidad and
Good.
Tobago.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you, Dominique. And I'm glad I have this opportunity to sit and have a discussion, so the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago can get to know you a little bit better as I know you, and see that dedication that really has really driven you to take up this allegiance to fix the country, and that we so desperately need to fix Trinidad and Tobago. So, Dominique, please tell the audience a bit about yourself. Just give them a little background as to who is Dominique.
Well, Michelle and Trinidad and Tobago, as you know, my name is Dominic Lopez. I'm the PEP's candidate for Lopino Bonia West. I'm a simple person, normal everyday person, and I choose to do this for because I have the passion for it and I want a better country. And PEP seems like the only political party that seems to want a better country and has plans and policies and everything set in place to make Trinidad a better place.
Right, right. So, Dominique, if there was something that the public did not know about you, what would you say are your qualities? What can you bring to this position of member of parliament?
Oh, Michelle, I love helping people, and I want to represent because I know I can be the true example of what representation should be in Trinidad and Tobago. Because for years, for decades, we haven't seen what real representation is from our parliamentarians.
Right, right. I mean, and that is a major issue, the lack of representation. Dominique, you and I are on the ground, and we hear it every day. People have not seen their MPs for the past 5 years. So that alone should be extremely alarming to us as citizens. These are elected officials, and we basically don't see them until election time to vote them back in. So that
Yeah,
is the problem. But yeah. So Dominique, what is Lopino telling you on the ground? What are the issues that Lopino Bonaire West is facing right now?
Michelle, the major issues we have seen thus far. Now, I haven't been able to properly assess the whole constituency because it's a large constituency, and I'm on the ground every day interacting with people, looking at the needs, looking at what needs to be done, what is lacking. And so far, I've seen some of the worst roads I've seen in Trinidad and Tobago. The Lopino Road haven't been resurfaced or touched or anything done to it in years, in a lot of years. I think it was the last time was under the Pandey administration. They did a little bit of work, like some box drains, and the road was paved just across the bus route where the Lopino Road now starts. The drains are dirty. The water availability is substandard. Recreational facilities and programs, they are not really set in place for the people. The agricultural sector in Lupino should be playing a major part in our economy as far as cocoa farmers and all that is concerned, and no attention has been given to them by any government administration. Lupino itself in the Borneo West constituency is a large place, right?
Mhm.
And they don't have a police station, a fire station, a market, etc. Normal things that should be in a large community like that.
Right,
And
right. Dom- Yeah, the problem is, Dominique, so many communities like Lopino, Bonaire West are neglected. But we wonder in terms of the voting. We're doing this exchange every 5 years, and we're getting nowhere. So you're mentioning something that is very characteristic of a lot of constituencies. They're neglected, they're not developed, they're not no opportunity is given to them. What about employment and stuff in that area, Dominique? Is there any opportunity for the average day citizen?
Well, Michelle, to be honest with you, the government, especially the government every day, they have made the place really, really, really hard for people. A lot of people are unemployed. But if, let's say, for instance, we were to get into office, the stuff that has to be done in the constituency will create a lot of employment for the people. The infrastructure for decentralization of water, because come on, Lopino has some of the freshest water coming out from the northern range. This water just washes out into the sea. There's land, there's lots and lots of land. When Mr. Rowley, our so-called prime minister, tells us he cannot diversify the economy and there's no land for agriculture, he's joking. In Lopino, there is so much nice fertile land that we can do so much with. The cocoa farmers in Lopino have been neglected, that they had to abandon their 75-acre cocoa estates because
Yes,
they were not being supported by the government, and it was hard for them to maintain it. It's not an easy thing to maintain. It's a lot of work, and they just abandon it and look for some other
yeah,
alternative to survive. And these people, if they were getting the help that they needed, they would have been wealthy people. They would have been able to
right.
employ a lot of people in their estates.
But Dominique, that's the problem. What we continue to do in past and present governments, we continue to only favor the elite in this country. So you're pointing out a situation that we know the average man never has an opportunity. It's always for the certain elite in this country, and that is what the Progressive Empowerment Party is, and we're trying to fight, because the average citizen in Trinidad and Tobago has no opportunity for them. And what you are describing is the everyday man, um, you know, problem, because they just see no opportunity, and we're left behind, right, as citizens. But Dominic, what are the citizens in Lopino and Bonaire West telling you? Give us some feedback as to what they are telling you. How they feel. What's going on there?
Michelle, they are upset. They have been upset and disgruntled for the past 5 years, and they're so fed up of PNM and UNC exchange and the same thing over and over. Now, with PNM and UNC, corruption and neglect have made it hard for the people to trust any government at all. It's not an easy task. It's not an easy task, but the people are receptive. They give us the time for interaction to hear what we have to say, because we are speaking the truth. And the things, the plans and the policies that we have set in place for the country, they are simple stuff that governments could have been doing all these years. But they haven't been doing it because their friends and their finances would not be profiting from it. And that kind of brings me back to the cocoa farmers. Those estates,
Yes.
why have they not supported these cocoa farmers? Is it that they want them to abandon their estates so the elite can buy up the lands? I'm thinking, what else could be the reason? Because we have the best cocoa in the world. Everyone knows that.
Right.
And if a
Yes.
government knows that they have the best cocoa in the world and they have a lot of land and a lot of cocoa estates, why are they not capitalizing on it? Is there something else that makes more money with the land?
Exactly, Dominique. It's just like in Jamaica. They market their coffee, which is one of the best in the world, literally. But here in Trinidad, we don't take advantage of our assets. Like you said, we're known for having the best cocoa in the world, but yet you rarely hear that. I mean, we might know that here, but it's not exported. Like for example, the Jamaican coffee that that is known, Blue Mountain. It's known worldwide. It's marketed worldwide. So we have to say to ourselves, like you said, Dominique, what is really the intention with these governments of not really benefiting the average citizen, benefiting the country, and continuing to govern from a perspective of the elite in this country. That's what we're facing, you know. And I agree with you. I agree with you. But Dominique, what PEP policy really stands out to you, and why? Because we are policy driven, and as you're walking Lopino, Bonaire West, you're talking to the citizens. What is the one PEP policy that really resonates, that you feel will benefit the country and Lopino and Bonaire West?
Well, Michelle, the policy that resonates the most with me is actually the policy that drawn me to PEP. The
Right.
policy that resonates with me the most would have to be the right to recall an MP. It is an important
Yes.
tool for the people to make sure their member of parliament is held accountable in the execution of his or her duties. And
Right.
it resonates the most with me because these politicians for decades have been neglecting their people, and the people cannot do anything about it. Let's say IMP go and sit in parliament for 5 years, they does nothing. The constituents of a constituency don't see them for the 5 years until election. They do nothing for them and they can't fire them. There's nothing set in place to hold them accountable for what they are doing. And I think recall
Exactly.
recall is one of the most important things in our country. Come on. If let's say for instance I do win my seat and I'm in parliament. If I'm not performing, fire me. Fire me, replace me with somebody who can do the work, because that's what it's about. Representing the people, tending to the needs of the constituency. So I think recall, Michelle, was one of the best policies I've seen in PEP so far.
Yes, I thoroughly agree, because you think about it, Dominique. If you're at a job and you're not performing in the private sector, they will get rid of you. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more difficult in the government sector, because hence the reason we need this type of legislation. But when you're not performing a job, you just don't sit on it and reap the benefits. You're an elected official. And that is what we see lacking in Trinidad. I mean, I have personal nightmare stories of lack of representation down here, and people waiting years to get issues resolved, Dominique. Years, decades passing, and the from the local government sector and go up, it is a total failure. No one acts on behalf of the citizens. So I agree with you. I believe if the citizens of Lopino and Bonaire West believe you are not working for them, Dominique, they should have the right to make a call, and of course go through protocol, but get rid of the person not performing to them, because it is not benefiting them. It's not benefiting them. But Dominique, we at the Progressive Empowerment Party, I mean, we are so policy driven, and I don't know how you're feeling, but what's your take on all of this, jamming and whining going on? But we're not hearing anything else going on, are we, Dominique?
No, 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 we're not. Michelle, we are the only political party on the ground that is speaking the truth, that are campaigning based on policies and ideas and plans. And also, let me give you an example. The PNM and the UNC, they come around with their big music trucks and the paid crowd, because most of the people that are walking with them, they look nice on the ground because they have a lot of people, but these people are being paid to walk. We
Yes.
are not doing this for, we are doing this for free. We are doing this for love of our
Yes.
country. We are doing this because we
Yes.
want a better country. We're doing this because governments have failed us over the years, deliberately failed us. Because
Yes.
these candidates for the big parties like PNM and UNC, they run for a seat with the intention of going and fill their pockets. And that's their only thought. The greed of these people, I mean, come on, how much is enough? Because they've been recycling politicians, recycling. I've seen politicians cross floor, PNM to UNC, UNC to
Yes.
PNM,
Yes.
Yeah, just to fill their pockets. And I'm telling you,
Yes,
Michelle, I'm telling the whole of Trinidad and Tobago, they are both part of the same hypocrisy. You see, they work in the same building, they are colleagues. Rowley, Kamla, they are friends, they are colleagues, they work in the same building. You think they don't have conversations on a daily basis of what is going on and what they're going to do? There's something I want to touch on, Michelle.
yes,
They are
yes,
so afraid up to this day, right? And I know, and the whole country knows, that both Kamla Prasad Bisesa of the UNC and Mr. Rowley of the PNM are quite aware of the Progressive Empowerment Party and who Philip Alexander is. And to
yes,
date, they are so afraid to say the word PEP or the name Philip Edward Alexander, no matter
yes,
what truth we speak, because sometimes people might say, oh, Philip is bashing them, but he's speaking the truth. And the country
exactly.
needs to know the truth. And if I am bashing you, Michelle, right, and I am lying on you with my bashing, wouldn't you answer me? Wouldn't you defend
Yes,
yourself? So
yes,
why
yes.
aren't they defending themselves? Because they
Hey,
know they are
Dominique, you're
too
hitting it.
wrong.
Yes. You know, we are going around, Dominique, and I know you're a man on the ground, and you're seeing all this jamming, whining music, just all over the place. I mean, of course, it's a celebration of our democracy, and understand that. But what we are not hearing from the other candidates is what are your solutions to fix this country, right? Yes, I could have the
Exactly.
music, sure, but give me some solutions. And that is what we are representing at the Progressive Empowerment Party. The other parties refuse, as Dominique indicated, to even say our name, which gives you, it should be very symbolic of how PEP has become in this country. We have become the voice of the people. We have become the tool that is needed to fix this country. So, Dominique, I agree with you. I laugh when I see the jam session going on, and and I wonder, is anyone listening to the deafening silence, Dominique, of what they are not saying? You understand what I'm saying? What they
Yeah,
are not saying.
exactly. You see, they come around with the loud music and the bacchanal, and they say, "Okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that," but they have no idea of how they're gonna do what they say they're gonna do because they can't explain to the public.
Right.
Unlike Pep, we interact with people. Come on, Michelle. Sometimes I'm on the ground and I meet a group of people and I'm there and I'm interacting with them, and the rest of the team sometimes they go way ahead because I'm there. I'm making sure I'm giving these people the time they deserve. I'm answering their questions. I'm interacting with them to reassure them, to make them know for sure that we mean what we say and we say what we mean, and we make it to office. We are going to do every single thing that we said we are going to do.
Yes, yes, yes. Dominique, how has the reception been so far? I mean, how has it been in terms of, you going out there as a candidate? What are the people saying to you? Are they welcoming the Progressive Empowerment Party?
Oh yes, Michelle. They are welcoming the fact that we are not recycled politicians. We are
Yes,
simple, everyday people like themselves because for years, people know we have been putting doctors and lawyers and rich people, children into office. All we've gotten from them is what? Professional thieves enriching themselves with treasury money, money that could have come down to these communities to uplift people. So the people are receptive. They want answers. They want solutions. And PEP is the only political party that is giving them solutions, that is giving them answers.
right, right, right. And the answers that are so lacking in all of the constituencies, Dominique, that is what is it's so heartbreaking. I mean, you and I are on the ground, and when you go to certain areas, I went to, an area yesterday in Deep South, and it just broke my heart. It just, I mean, basic necessities of water and a lack of electricity, were highlighted. And I was thinking, Dominique, in this day and age, can you imagine we are still in once oil-rich nation talking about water and electricity. It was heart wrenching to see the living conditions of persons in my constituency where I live. And, it really shows the neglect, Dominique, all the citizens have been going through, including those of Lopino and Bonaire West. They have been going through decades of just pure, deliberate neglect, um, as a constituency, and that is what is heartbreaking. But Dominique, what would you tell? Why PEP? Because I know you get this question every day. I do too, thousands of
Yeah.
times. Why should the citizens of Lopino and Bonaire West choose the Progressive Empowerment Party? Why?
The people of Lopino Borneo West, they should choose the Progressive Empowerment Party, PEP, and choose to vote for me because I'm not here to share contracts to friends and family. I'm not here, Michelle, to rack up large roaming bills on overseas trips and phone bills like some of them do. I'm not
Right.
in the pocket of any political financer. I'm only here to serve the people to the best of my ability. And I would be judged on just that, on my performance. I mean, I
Yes.
haven't made it to office yet, but they can start judging me from now on based on my performance on the ground, based on what I'm telling them, based on what I'm bringing to them, the solutions to their problems, you know. And there's nothing else that the Progressive Empowerment Party, nothing ever
Yes.
in the history of Trinidad.
Did we lose Dominique? I believe we lost connection with Dominique. So I will continue, but that is Dominique Lopez representing the Progressive Empowerment Party, for Lopino Bonaire West. Citizens, we are bringing quality candidates just as everyday persons that have a desire to really help fix this country. What the Progressive Empowerment Party offers is we don't have we're not recycling politicians that switch every 5 years and go from red to yellow. We are bringing true representation of people that want to be on the ground. They want to be on the ground listening to your issues, fixing your issues, and addressing the issues that we have in this country. We are so neglected as a country, as the deputy party chair for organization mobilization. I'm on the ground every day, and I can tell you, people are crying for help in this country. They are crying for representation. They are crying for those elected to hear what they are actually saying, to understand the dilemma they are facing. But instead, we are electing officials that are driving around in cars worth millions of dollars. We are electing officials that really have no connection to their constituency in terms of what the constituency has been going through. And this is what we are trying to do. We are saying at the Progressive Empowerment Party that once elected to office, the MP that is only going to be their position. They're not going to be given different portfolios, because that takes away from their ability to serve the citizens of their constituency. And that is what is happening. I mean, it's common logic that the more you are given, the less you are available. It's deliberate, because don't tell me all these educated persons don't understand that if you give someone several portfolios, they are not going to be able to serve the citizens of their constituency. And that is what is going on. And we at the Progressive Empowerment Party believe that once you are elected to serve the people of your constituency. You are here to serve the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And basically, do not be distracted by other things. We want performance from our candidates. We demand performance from our candidates because we trust that the citizens will give us the vote come August 10th to make a difference in this country. We are hearing and getting extremely good feedback in terms of citizens welcoming change, citizens so happy to see the change that is needed in this country. So that is what we represent at the Progressive Empowerment Party. I'm going to take a small break because when we come back, I have our candidate from Sandy Grande Toco, Kevin Fernandez. So we will be back shortly to introduce Kevin to you. Thank you. Oh, Dominique, you're back. Okay, good.
Seems like some kind of technical difficulty.
That's okay. I thought I had to segue out, but thank you. Good. I'm glad you could join me back for some closing comments because, I want you to give one last, one last shout out to the Lopino Bonaire people and tell them with, from the bottom of your heart, why should they vote for you, Dominique?
Michelle, I am real representation. I am not like any before me. I am not here to fool anybody. I'm here to help the constituency. And I think the people of Lopino Borneo West should vote for me based on the plans and the policies and the solutions that we have set for the country. We could together, excuse me, 1 second, let me get this.
Yeah, no problem. Mhm.
Yes. Together, Michelle, both me and them, the people in the constituency, if we cooperate and work together, we can uplift Lopino Borneo West and bring it to what it was supposed to be. Lopino has something to offer Trinidad and Tobago that is more than just a place in a constituency. It has a tourist attraction. It's a lovely, lovely place, Michelle. And if the people of Lopino Borneo West vote for me, I will be back on the ground there every day in every community, in every village, tending to their needs, speaking with them, finding out what they need and what needs to be done, and getting it done most importantly. I'm not there to just
Right.
talk and say, okay, I'm going to do it, and then they don't see me for the next 5 years. No, I want to be there. I want to make sure what I tell them I'm going to do, what they say they need in their constituency, I want to get it done, and I will get it done because that's who I am. I'm a person that gets things done.
Yes. Yeah, Dominique, I know that about you. You are a go-getter and you want things done. You want to see execution. I mean, working with you in mobilization, I've really seen that drive and that energy. But citizens of Lopino Bonaire West, you have a choice, and your choice is Dominique Lopez for the candidate for the Progressive Empowerment Party to represent you, to represent true representation of what your needs are as a constituency. So, make the right choice. And to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, we continue to bring you the quality candidates that you are looking for. So, Dominique, it has really been a pleasure. I know you have to go to drop off your daughter to school, and we welcome. I look forward to chatting with you again and giving me an update as to how it's going in Lopino Bonaire West and keeping the citizens informed. So keep up the good work, and I'll talk to you another time, okay? In the meanwhile, audience, we are going to a quick break. When we come back, we will have our representative, our candidate for Sandy Grande Toco.
Thank
To
you,
the
Michelle.
voter, quite possibly for the last time, because I can't see nothing as strong as me or the PEP rising up in this country to try to give you a democratic response to what is going on. I'm telling you, regardless of who you are and how you feel, you have a responsibility to this country. You have a responsibility to your future. And if you shirk that responsibility this election time, the reason they don't catch whole treat and distribute the water is so that they can do stunts like Kamla's water treatment plant in Beetham. Water treatment plant in Beetham for $1 billion. It takes 10 years and they finish yet. We spend $1 billion and they're gone. We spend billions to build a desalination plant. We spend $500 million a year to desalinate seawater that we never needed to do.
Good morning again, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome as we continue Pep Talks in the morning. I have this morning a gentleman that I've had the privilege of working with and a young man that really desires change. Mr. Kevin Fernandez, our candidate for Toco Sandy Grande. Good morning, Kevin.
Hi, good morning, Michelle. How are you this morning?
Good. How are you? How are you? Nice to see you. You know we're on opposite sides. I'm in Cedrus. You're in Sandy Grande, Toco. So how are you today?
I am fine, a little exhausted, but fine.
Right. I know you've been hitting the ground. I am seeing the activity. I am seeing orange in Toco Sandy Grande. So first of all, Kevin, tell us about, your constituency, the constituency of Toco Sandy Grande. What does that represent for you and why have you chosen to go up to represent the people of Sandy Grande?
Well, I am born and bred in Toco, Sandy Grande. Grew up on a farm in Toco, in Sandy Grande, in Ture. And I love this area so much. Now, we have been suffering neglect for many, many years under not just under the PNM government, but under the UNC, the NAR. It's been over 50 plus years of neglect. Very
Yeah.
little development in Toco Sandy Grande.
Right, right. And you being from there, you're first witnessing what you have gone through. We were just talking with Dominique and the same thing, neglect. What are these elected officials doing? But Kevin, what drove you to run and represent not only the Progressive Empowerment Party, but represent the people of Toco Sandy Grande? Why are you doing this?
Well, the people of Toco Sandy Grande needed a voice, needed a real voice to speak for them. They needed proper representation. Coming around every 5 years, begging for your votes, and then forgetting about you, literally forgetting about you, for the next 5 years, it's become tiring. Personally, for
Yes.
me, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see that you go out in your numbers, you vote in a government, and they do absolutely nothing in terms of not that we would like the government to give us handout, but simple things in terms of infrastructure development.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
these are things that you, a responsible voter, should be thinking about and would like for themselves as a tax-paying individual of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, what you not only you like you should demand it because we look at infrastructure and I've gone down to on that side with the Progressive Empowerment Party and the simple basics like you said the road the
Yeah,
infrastructure which we have the nerve, Kevin. Every year we announce these billions of dollars from Ministry of Roads and Works and Transport, but where's the money going? Because the roads in Trinidad and Tobago, I mean, it is an embarrassment to this nation. It is,
yes,
we are so neglected. Your poor car takes a hit, and citizens continue to buy new cars. And these cars are
yeah,
not made for these type of roads, right, Kevin? They're not made for to your
exactly.
car,
Not
your
me.
fairly new car taking a licking on these roads. But we look at
Yeah.
Toco Sandy Grande, Kevin, and you're right. It has been a neglected community. What are the issues that the people are facing down there? What give us like 1 to 3 issues that really are standing out to you that need to be corrected.
Well, l- like everywhere else in Trinidad and Tobago, um, it has nothing functions in this country to any extent of efficiency. Nothing works. But the major issues I would say would be employment, because we have massive unemployment in this constituency, with a lot of people having to go out, go all the way into Port of Spain. And for people who know the area, the geographic of Toco Sandy Grande, we have people all up as far as Matlock. To
Right.
get to Sandy Grande or Port of Spain just to get a job, which doesn't pay well, it's best you stay home, because
Yes. Yeah.
$3,000 a month, and then your transportation may, in some cases, cross that. You know,
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
we are mainly an agricultural community, and any sort of development in terms of agriculture has just been neglected. It's been left abandoned.
Right.
There's been no initiative from the government to assist farmers in this area, as well as housing. That's another big issue. Now we
Right.
find over the past couple of years, there's a large influx of squatting in Toco San Grande,
Right. Right. Right.
right?
Yeah.
So
As
housing,
in many other constituencies.
yes. So if I would have to just list three, even though
Yes.
nothing works,
Right.
it would be housing, employment, and agriculture,
And
any
and
sort
and
of
as you're
agricultural
saying,
development.
correct, correct. And I mean, at the Progressive Empowerment Party, we are really an advocate of agriculture, and we believe a
Yes,
country should be able to feed itself. But Kevin,
yes.
what policy, what PEP policy really resonates with you? I mean, why did you join this party? Tell the audience, why did you join this party, and what resonates in PEP with you?
Well, for me personally, joining this party was a no-brainer after reviewing all the policies that they stand for. If someone would just take the time and take 2 minutes of your time, have a read of our policies, look at where everything fall into place, from home ownership to water to education to development, community development, infrastructure, everything falls into place. This is a policy based on good governance. This is a policy based on good ideas and ideologies that you just can't deny,
Right,
considering
right.
that considering
Yeah,
that
go
we
ahead.
have been receiving promises after promises. For example, you know, Ms. Bisesta said she would offer 50,000 jobs. But how?
But how? Right,
How?
right.
We
Yeah,
at PEP, what sparked my interest is that they not just offered the policy, but they also gave you the full idea of how they are going to do this. And it
right.
was a no-brainer. I had to get involved.
Yes, yes, yes. Because, when we released those 21 policies, I remember, people were saying, wow, you're releasing your policies. But, when at the Progressive Empowerment Party, we're trying to inform, educate, and empower the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And I believe after, over 3 years of being with the party, I believe we really have really woke the nation because now they see there are other options. There are solutions, ladies and gentlemen, to the issues we are facing. It's not that difficult, but we're
Yes,
making it difficult. Those elected in office are making it difficult because they want you to believe, Kevin, that there is no solution, right? There is no
yes,
solution to these
exactly.
everyday right, dysfunctionality we face. But Kevin, when you're on the ground, because I know it's hard, you and I are on the ground, and especially it's election season, we're walking our shoes off literally. But what are you
Yeah.
telling the citizens, and what are you telling the citizens about the Progressive Empowerment Party, and what's the feedback you're getting? Give me some feedback from Toko Sandy Grande.
Well, for me, it's about listening to the citizens, not about telling them what we have to offer. And when you go
Right,
around listening to what they have to say, now I am certain that it would be the same all over the country. Frustration, they're fed up with the government, they're fed up with promises, they're fed up with the roads, they're fed up with water supply, they're fed up with. I mean, I met someone yesterday that cried,
oh,
and it 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 just it just hit me, that
yes,
you have two 800-gallon tanks in your home, and it's not enough because the
yeah,
water supply is not it's not coming as regular as you would like it to. So your tanks go empty as well, and sometimes you
yes,
go days without water, and you have little
right.
children. You feel the pain of these people, and we show these people how simple it is to fix these problems, and you ask them, why hasn't the previous government made any attempt at all to rectify any
Right.
of these problems? Um, of course, they can't give an answer. They would always tell you, well, they're there to fill their pockets, they're only seeing about themselves. But
Right.
good governance should be good representation.
Right.
And I am not seeing anyone, not in my constituency, nor any other constituency, who in the past has actually been representing the people, listening to
Yes.
what they have to say, and
Yeah.
assisting them in solving those problems.
Well said, well said. Because Kevin, the well being of the citizenry is the sole purpose of the government, of any government. And
Yes,
here
it
in
is.
Trinidad and Tobago, we have seemed to just for totally forgotten that they're citizens. I mean, you look at the issues. I have traveled the world. I've had the privilege of working with a organization that had me traveling literally. I was in a different continent, and you look at how other countries function, Kevin, and it's so frustrating the minute you hit Trinidad, from the immigration to everything else. It's just
Yeah,
everything is failure. The way we welcome
yeah,
people in
it
this
is.
country, the way you walk outside, the cleanliness, the water, the basic things that work in other countries. And that's what we're trying to say at the Progressive Empowerment Party. It works somewhere else. Why can't it work in Trinidad and
Yeah,
Tobago? What is so unique about us that nothing works here? You know? But
yes,
Kevin, I
exactly.
wanted to talk to you about this because I saw a picture over the weekend. This huge
Mm,
crowd in Sandy Grande over the weekend. I just saw red flags.
yeah,
And I told Dominique, I hear a lot of noise, but I don't hear anything, if you understand what I'm saying. I'm hearing a
exactly.
lot of
Yes.
noise. Give me your take when you saw that. I don't know if you saw it, if you were in the, if you happened to be near it, but all that session.
I I I saw it. I was there. That was for right after nomination day. I came
Right.
out of the Elections and Boundaries office, and they were gathering both red and yellow in massive crowds, just handing out jerseys and playing loud music. And yes, the people got to party, they got a little relief from being inside for so long for the COVID period. But when I get on the ground and listen to the people, I have been in places where people tell me, nobody never came here. And
Right,
when they do, they would pass on the main roads and blast all these loud music. They don't want to hear what we have to say. I
right.
appreciate you for coming on the ground, walking with a small group of people and listening to what I have to say. So the
Correct.
response has been overwhelming in terms of people getting to know us personally and
Yes.
relating to us because we are average, everyday citizens just like them. And, we can relate to them. I am from the community. I know what it's like to get up every morning in Sandy Grande to meet
Right.
dry pipe
Yes.
every
Yes.
single morning, right?
Yes.
Because we are on a schedule, and there are places in Togo Sandy Grande that doesn't even get pipe-borne water supply in 2020. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. The water issue is so frustrating. I mean, I don't know if you saw that infamous article where it said Trinidad to get water by 1960, and we are in 2020.
So,
you know
yes,
and I'm the reason I'm bringing up the water issue because I know it's a major issue in Toco Sandy Grande, but I want to let
yes,
citizens know that the projected date for water in this country was 1960, and the fact that
yes.
2020 going into 2021, we have been unable as a country to address water, a basic
Hmm.
necessity, a basic necessity, right?
Very
No
basic.
one of
Yeah.
yeah, of all these educated persons, Kevin, that sit in parliament in their fine Italian suits, no one
Hmm.
has been able to fix water in this country. And that
Well,
is saddening and disgusting.
well, people need to realize that this is intentional. This is being done intentional. If I fix the water supply and I allow you to have constant water in your pipe, how would I sell my bottled water? Bottled water
Right,
has become a very large industry in Trinidad and Tobago. And, you make millions out of selling water these days.
right,
So
right.
they refuse to fix it. It's not that they
Because
can't,
isn't it?
they just
Yeah,
refuse to.
exactly. And we continue to say that at the Progressive Empowerment Party. So, Kevin, I know you're on the
Mm.
ground. And when people say, why the Progressive Empowerment Party? What are you going to tell them? What are you telling the people why they should choose the Progressive Empowerment Party?
This is about, I try to relate to the people and explain to them this is about voting for yourself. This is about voting for good governance. This is about voting for your future. Now, a lot of people are despondent and they decide that they're not going to vote anymore. I have had many, many conversations with individuals trying to explain to them that, you need to give a new party which doesn't have old corrupted politicians involved in it a chance to show you what good governance is. And they can relate to me because a lot of people know me from Toco Sandy Grande. Um, First thing you would hear come up, all politicians are the same. Am I the
Yes,
same?
yes,
I'm not. I'm
yes.
not. I'm not a politician. I'm a son
Right,
of the soil. I'm a
right.
patriot. So
Yes,
why won't you take some time and listen to my ideas? Take a few minutes, step back, listen to
yes,
what I have to say. And
yes.
when we do explain what we have planned, it takes a little longer because now we have to explain all our 21 policies, what would resonate with the people. And
Yes.
but at the end of the conversation, you feel that sense of hope, that sense that,
Right.
okay,
Yes.
finally someone else is here. Someone else is
Yes.
here. Someone who actually cares about me and cares about
Right.
my problems is here standing up for me. And we have an overwhelming response when we hit the ground.
I'm so happy because I'm really seeing your team and yourself really out there. For Toko Sandy Grandi, Kevin, what policy, what one PEP policy really stands out that you believe will benefit the constituency? I mean, all of our policies, but which one are you really an advocate of and why? Which one PEP policy really stands out for you?
Well, my that's a really hard one, huh? Because
Right.
after 40 years of 48, 50 years of neglect,
Yes.
choosing just choosing just one
Right.
policy to rectify is a difficult task. But I would say unemployment,
Right.
right?
Right.
Diversification of public sectors and allowing um, all government offices, public sector services to be offered within the community. It
Right.
it causes a trickle down effect, and people need to
Yes.
understand that. It creates employment within the constituency, which is absolutely needed because there's large groups of young people who are qualified. I met someone
Mhm.
who said they had 10 subjects and they were looking to
Right.
go and do A's, and they couldn't find a job. They've been applying for jobs and they couldn't find a job. And some people would say, well, there are jobs out there. But how
Right.
do you explain giving someone who is qualified a minimum wage job? That's
Yes.
unacceptable, right? So,
Yep.
um, unemployment, I would have to say, is a major issue to rectify, and diversification
Yes.
is the policy that fixes that to bring that well needed employment into the community and
Right.
stimulate that economic growth that we so badly
Agreed.
need in
Agreed.
Coco County.
Agreed. And again, all of the entire country going to Port of Spain for employment. I don't know how you feel about that, but that is just the most absurd. Um, you know, um, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just absurd that the
Yeah,
entire country has
yeah,
to go to Port of Spain for employment. If you live in areas such as Toco Sandy Grande, you live in Cedros like
yeah.
myself, the commute is sometimes 3 hours or more to get into
Yes,
Port
it's
of Spain.
ridiculous.
I mean, right, it's absolutely ridiculous. And you wonder why haven't they decentralized? Why haven't they attempted to filter out the employment and balance it within these countries? Because areas such as Toco Sandy Grande have no opportunity. You're making 3,000 a
Yeah,
month. You're not going to spend 2,500 to travel. Well, clearly you're not going
yeah,
to do that. And no one has, I
exactly.
mean, here you and I are discussing it. We're discussing it very rationally, but what are those in power doing, Kevin? Because we're discussing it rationally and understand that it needs to be decentralized. You need to bring local projects in the community, not big contractors,
Yeah,
as the Progressive Empowerment Party states. You need to bring local contractors to generate local employment instead of the big
employment. Yeah,
contractors coming in every constituency, not hiring persons from the villages, and you still have this
exactly.
lack of employment. But Kevin, you're young, and what I've noticed,
Yeah,
that our trend is we have a lot of young candidates. Why? this is a monumental task for you. Why, as a young person, I know you're a business owner also. So, why have you taken this on, the task?
I grew up with the understanding when something is not being done, you get up and do it for yourself.
Correct.
And sitting down and waiting, because I personally, I have not been voting for quite some time. Um, because just like everyone else, I chose to protest silently.
Yeah.
But I had to ask myself, when does silence become uh, an unacceptable response?
Right.
And we are beyond that unacceptable point. We
Yes.
can't afford to be silent anymore. We
Right.
absolutely can't afford to be silent anymore. So, without having seen anyone stand up,
Yes.
I have made the decision to do it myself. Stand up.
Yeah.
It's a hard
Yeah,
fight,
Kevin,
but
I really
yeah.
commend you.
Mm,
I really commend you, Kevin, because it is for a young person. You have other opportunities. You have your business
yeah.
in Sandy Grande, and it is a challenge. I know you are facing. I know you are facing a uphill battle to
Yeah.
convince the people that they deserve better options. And we are actually just almost at the closing, but I'm giving you the last minute and a half. What are you tell the people of Toco Sandy Grande why they need to vote for you, Kevin Fernandez?
Okay. I, as I always say, I don't want you to vote for me. I want you to vote for yourself. Vote to save your country. Vote for efficiency. Vote for responsible representation and responsible governance. When you go to that
Well,
poll, remember, do not forget that these people were there for many, many years and they have neglected you. Vote for PEP.
well said, Kevin. Okay, well said. I agree. I mean, a vote for the Progressive Empowerment Party is a vote for the nation. It is a vote for a better country. I
Yeah.
told somebody yes. I said, this is about better country. This is not about you just wanting a little URP job. This is about a
Yeah.
country that works. This is we pass
No.
those days now, ladies and gentlemen. We want big
Yes.
things. I don't
Yes.
want to promise you a URP job. I want to promise you a future. I want to promise you a better future for your children. I want that. We want that at the Progressive Empowerment Party. And we are offering solutions to the everyday situation the citizens are facing, and we must understand that
Exactly.
as citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. But Kevin, I met you, I interviewed you on the phone, and I have been extremely impressed by your drive as a young man,
Yeah.
as a young
Thank you.
business owner, intellect, in the IT field and security field. I really have admired and witnessed your journey at this past couple of weeks, and I really commend you for your efforts. It is an absolute pleasure having the opportunity to work with you, and you and I will talk again. I
Amen.
will have you back to give me an
Yes.
update as
Lovely.
it keeps going. Give you an update.
All
So
right.
today, ladies and gentlemen, we brought to you Dominique Lopez and Kevin Fernandez, two men that are here to serve you, two men that want to serve this country, make this country better. On August 10th, orange is the color. Orange is the color to save this country to a better country. So we thank you. We thank you for joining us today on another edition of Pep Talks in the Morning. We look forward to seeing you again. And Kevin, once again, thank you and have a productive day on the ground.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you. Until another edition, we'll see you tomorrow.